twins born at 4 months. When Dad put them down, he was shocked. When their father put them down at 4 months, he was taken aback. Imagine being pregnant with twins and giving birth to them months apart. Although properly parenting a child is challenging, it should not be a burden. Children are small individuals who rely on you for survival. They are unquestionably a duty. Ideally, having children is a planned and premeditated event. The first 4 months of being a mom were the most unpleasant of her life. Being pregnant was a wonderful time. By comparison, she had her early and she was like a newborn for a long time, and she was ill from the complications. It was as if God had asked her if she wanted to do it all over again and return to your childhood and never have children. She didn't know how usual those thoughts are, but even though she had yearned for this kid, she dreamed about not having children at times throughout those 4 months. Premature babies are those born before the 18th week of pregnancy. Premature babies are often known as preemies. Premature women are typically worried and fearful of giving birth to preemies. One or more problems are possible. The 3rd trimester begins in the 7th month of pregnancy, and from here you will see the rapid growth of a baby. However, more than just growth occurs. Miraculously, in the 7th month of pregnancy, and the baby who is delivered is fighting for his life, waiting for the day he gets to meet his brother on the outside, according to the twins' father. Normally, twins are born minutes apart, but if all goes well, 2 miracle babies in Washington state will be celebrating their birthdays 4 months apart. The unusual story began late last month when the boy's mother, Holly Gorvaret, went into labor unexpectedly at 23 weeks due to complications with her pregnancy. Because the second baby, Logan, was much smaller than his brother due to a potentially fatal rare condition called twin-to-trend transfusion syndrome, in which blood passes unequally between twins who share a placenta, Gorviat's doctors decided to try a risky procedure called delayed interval delivery, which involved leaving Logan in utero until closer to his due date. According to Dr. Martin Walker, who oversaw the procedure, the twins' estimated 4-month gap between births is one of the longest on record. Despite all setbacks, the boys are hanging in there. Though the odds were stacked against him, only about 10% of preemies survive the procedure, he's gaining weight in the NICU and showing promising signs of lung development. On his GoFundMe, his parents commented about his development. Logan appeared to be doing well inside his mother. He's passing his non-stress tests and he still likes to move about and be active during these periods. When we discover his heartbeat and he moves away. Fetal medicine specialist Dr. Martin Walker, Gorvat's doctor, said earlier this month that every day the twin brother Logan spent in utero meant a better chance for normal development for the younger brother. Logan will be much bigger than Link. Growth in utero is so much better than growth in NICU. Holly Gorviat said Logan was born on Saturday after medical officials were concerned she had developed signs of infection. Logan was delivered at 1:53 a.m. and weighed 740 grams, according to his mother in an online post. His connection also appears to be developing nicely, according to Walker. He still has a long way to go, but the fact that he's this far out with no bleeding in his brain says he'll make it. Walker told ABC News that his progress is normal. Nick, the twins' father, told ABC News that Link already exhibited some personality earlier this month in his hospital incubator, where he likes to wiggle and move around a lot. According to Gorviat, pulling out all the temperature gauges and monitors. Logan had already reached the 25-week milestone, indicating that he had a 50% chance of normal development, according to Gorviat. Both infants stay at the Evergreen Medical Center for continued care, according to the family's wishes. They're keeping the family, especially those remarkable twins, in our thoughts and hoping for a happy outcome. Right now, it sounds like they're cautiously hopeful parents who are more focused on helping their babies get through the next few months. Dad Nick Gorviat wrote that Link is fighting for his life, waiting for the day he gets to meet his brother on the outside. In the 3rd trimester, your baby's development is nearing completion, and the focus shifts to weight gain. At around 31 weeks of pregnancy, babies begin to gain weight rapidly, and a baby can more than double their weight in only about 10 weeks. Your little one weighs only about 3 pounds at week 30 of pregnancy, but most full-term babies born at around 40 weeks of pregnancy weigh an average of 7 pounds. Which is why a premature baby will be smaller and lighter the sooner they're born. However, even full-term babies can have low birth weight. In the United States, roughly 8% of babies have low birth weight, which indicates they are delivered prematurely. Because their lungs, hearts, and brains are not sufficiently developed, babies born before 18 weeks are thought to have almost no chance of surviving. This happened once in a time 11-week gap when Lilia, who is from northern Kazakhstan, went into labor early with daughter Lilia at only 25 weeks. The tiny and very fragile baby was safely delivered, but Lia's twin brother was content to remain put, which can happen when a mother's contractions stop after one twin has been delivered, and it's in the second baby's best interest to have some time to grow closer to full term. As a result of Ilia's uterus, dilepias is a condition that affects women. This means she had a double uterus and each baby was able to develop in its own womb. Premature labor is also common with this condition, hence the twins' early appearance. Some women with uterus adelphias may also have two cervixes or two vaginas, but this is not always the case and may not be in Ilia's case. Sometimes women with this type of double uterus have trouble getting pregnant because the lining of their uteruses isn't fully developed or their wombs aren't the right shape, but Lilia had no such problems. She already had a 7-year-old daughter when doctors discovered her. Their premature baby's life was at risk, but their doctors were amazing. What they did was a miracle. Scientific American estimates that the odds of a pregnancy like this, where twins are born weeks apart and developed in twin wombs, are around 1 in 150 million. Additionally, the odds of conceiving one twin in each womb for a woman with uterus adelphus are 1 in 25,000. Lily and her twins are now healthy and happy, and they're reportedly getting ready to leave the hospital and start their new life together in earnest. Increasing survival rates for extremely premature babies means it's now possible to save the lives of babies born at 22 weeks. There's a phrase that goes, "Never trust a 24-weeker." That's pretty much the earliest you'll see a baby survive, but the chances are tiny. It depends a lot on the technology accessible to the NICU, the mother's and child's health up to that point, and a lot of other factors. The reason you shouldn't trust a 24-week-old baby is because you don't know how hard it will struggle to stay alive. Some children survive and thrive at the 7-month mark, which they know because she was born 12 weeks early. You can't really forecast it because it is one of the most difficult professions in nursing. For years, it has been possible to be premature. Ultrasound is the only way to know for sure, and is the only way to be certain. The doctor's recommendation, they try to keep the baby in the womb for as long as possible, and when it was no longer safe and her vitals were dropping, they induced me and treated it as an emergency. But remember that the baby needs to be in the womb to develop normally. Otherwise, there could be a variety of issues in each developmental stage, such as crawling, walking, talking, and comprehension. And there's the matter of longevity. It is true for all humans, regardless of premature birth, that the baby may require therapy for any additional issues and may not perform as well as a normal childbirth. Medicine has come a long way and can extend the lifespan. It all depends on how much you can afford to pay hospitals and what kind of doctors are available. Some charge a lot of money. They had a friend who's paying $1 million for a life because their baby was born prematurely. Not to be depressing, but parents need to be aware of and prepared for all sorts of things that may arise as a result of premature births in order to provide a happy life for their children. Something anyone would get the sniffles over and put them in the ICU, despite the fact that COVID-19 poses a significant risk to the twins. She stated that her family has already begun to take safeguards. They still feel torn between the two sets of kids, but at least they know at the end of the day the older kids get to do normal things, while the twins stay healthy and don't have to choose between the two. She said years before she was pregnant with twins without knowing any information that could help. When she received the same diagnosis, she saw a story of a family that didn't have the option to intervene when they were diagnosed with twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome and lost their children. That tragedy influenced her actions. She aims to pay it forward by sharing what he's learned. If their story will help save another kid, then it's incredibly essential to keep sharing.